So we're going to start in a seated position that is comfortable for you today. I'm going to give you two alternatives. This is easy pose. If you choose to sit like this, please just prop something up underneath your hips. I'm sitting on a yoga block, but you could be on a pillow or a rolled up blanket. The other thing that might be comfy, especially later in pregnancy, sometimes sitting cross-legged is too much pressure on your pelvis. So you can always be on your knees. And again, you can take one or two yoga blocks or a pillow and put them right underneath your sits bones and just sit up like this. So I'm going to give you a moment to find a position that is comfiest for you. And then we're just going to start to settle in. So however you're choosing to sit, I invite you to place a hand on the heart and a hand on baby. And if you're comfortable, let the eyes close and we'll start to go inward. So as you're sitting and breathing neutrally, start to allow your hips to become heavy, rooting down into whatever they're sitting on. And as you feel that heaviness, see if that can help lengthen your low back. And then allow that length to travel up the spine, almost as if you can imagine each vertebrae growing as you mentally walk up through the low back, up through the mid back, up through the upper back. And if you feel that your shoulders are rounded forward, just go ahead and round them back and settle those shoulder blades down on the ribs, nice and broad through the collarbones. And then let that length continue up the spine through the back of the neck and all the way up through the crown of the head. Good. So now that you're seated nice and tall, we're going to start focusing on breath. So we always start with some sort of pranayama, some breath work. Today we're going to work into Dirga breathing, which is a 3-part breathing. That this is so nice to help with stress and anxiety. So even on top of pregnancy, recognizing that there's so much going on in the world right now, and we want to create some space for ourselves in this next hour. So space and peace in our body, in our minds, and in our emotions. So with that in mind, I'm going to invite you to bring both hands down on the belly now and start to allow deep breaths to come in, filling up the belly, the side waist, and the low back like you're filling up a big balloon. As you exhale, allow that air to come through a soft open jaw, pouring out. Inhales come through the nose. Exhales, pour out the mouth. Keep going, following your pace. And starting to take in information about what's going on in your body today. So as we focus on the belly, you may feel baby moving around, or you may feel them being lulled to sleep. You may notice different parts of your body that are a little louder than others. And we try not to dwell on those thoughts, just taking them as information. Letting go a little more with each exhale. And then with your next breath, as you're ready, we'll bring the hands to the sides of the ribs. And we'll start to focus that breath now Breathing into the ribs, opening them like a big umbrella in every direction. Feeling your hands expand with the ribs on the inhale. Exhale through that nice, soft, open mouth. Ribs draw back in. Following your pace. Lengthening those inhales and exhales. Noticing, especially in this area of the body, that emotions may be coming up and allowing them to soften with your breath, with those exhalations. Good, keep going. We work a lot in prenatal yoga on softening the jaw. There's a really beautiful connection between the jaw and the cervix. So we think about that soft, open jaw, soft, open cervix. Really helpful to think of, especially during birthing. And then as you're ready, we'll bring the hands to the heart. Now focusing on bringing that breath up into the tops of the lungs. So filling up through the collarbones. And then as you exhale, softening in the shoulders, softening through the neck. And starting to quiet any thoughts that are taking your attention away from your practice. Good. Two more up in the collarbones. And we'll transition now into our full yoga 3-part breath. So a hand comes back down to baby and a hand stays on the heart. And as we breathe, we fill the belly, we fill the ribs, we fill the lungs, all the way through the whole body. And when we exhale, we empty completely. Nice long breaths in the nose. Soft, slow exhalations out the mouth. Bringing in all that sweet air for you and baby. Exhaling to release any tension in the body, the emotions, and the mind. One last full breath at your pace. Good. When that breath is complete, you can keep the eyes closed, drop the hands, and just let the breath return to neutral. And we'll take a moment just to notice how your energy can shift and change with a few minutes of breathing. And in this moment, perhaps of clarity, see if there's an intention that you'd like to set for your practice today. What would you like to focus on? What would you like to take with you from your practice? Good. And as you're ready, you'll lightly open the eyes. And we're going to come off of what we're sitting on and get a little movement going. We've been in one position for a while. So go ahead and bring your hands behind you and bring your legs nice and wide, wider than hip distance. We're going to start to get into those hips right away. So as you inhale, lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, the knees are going to drop to one side. And we're going to take this as a windshield wiper. So you inhale up through center, exhale down to the other side. So follow your breath and your pace. Again, for some of us, this is going to be super slow. And for others that have a lot of energy today, you can get nice and fast with it. Just see what feels good. If you get to an area and you're feeling that in the hips, like, oh, it's kind of achy, you can rock a little back and forth. You can stop and take a breath. Take this time to really make sure you're dropping into your body and see what feels good today. And the next time your knees are all the way to one side, go ahead and let them hang out there. This might feel like enough of a stretch for you, but if you do want to take it further, you can bring that inside foot on top of the inside knee. Should be nice and gentle, but that oomphs things up a little bit. So you should feel that in the hip and maybe part of the leg. Nice deep breaths in. Exhaling through the mouth to release any tension you feel there. Good. On your next inhale, knees come up and over. And again, this might feel good, or you might want to take that inside foot and place it on top of the inside knee. It's also fine if that was something you wanted to do on one side and not the other. As much as we want to be, we are not symmetrical. We honor where the body is today. Bringing it back to breath, to open up. Good, one more breath. Great. So releasing that, coming back to an easy pose, either cross-legged or on the knees. We're going to inhale, arms rise, gaze follows. Exhale, little twist to one side. And we're going to move with this just like we did with our knees. So inhales bring us back to center. Exhales, little twist to the other side. So keep following the pace that feels good for you. These open twists help wake up our spine and can really aid in digestion, which, as many of you have found out, gets slower and slower as we get farther along. Good. The next time you are twisted, just stay there for a moment. We're going to inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale if it feels good. Twist just a little more, not forcing anything. One more breath here. And on your next inhale, we'll take it to the other side. Inhaling, arms up and over. Good. First breath lengthens the spine. And then exhale helps us twist a little further. And we'll take one more breath in that twist. Good. Inhaling back to center. Now interlace the fingers, flipping the palms up. Go ahead and look down. Draw the shoulder blades back down onto the ribs. And if it feels good, you can pull the arms back. Great. Next, exhale. Go ahead and lower the arms, interlace behind you. Now pull down. Shoulder blades lengthen. And look down. Finding some nice, sweet length in the back of the shoulders and the neck. And on your next inhale, looking up, and go ahead and close the jaw here so we can stretch some of the connective tissue, the fascia in the front of the neck. Great. With your next breath, looking over one shoulder and the other shoulder. And releasing that grip, shaking out the arms, shaking out the shoulders, shaking out the head. Get some sweet movement and motion in there. Let it all go. Good. All right. So we're going to be working a little with gate pose today. So I'm going to have you guys take your towel or thin blanket and place it in the middle of your mat. And I'm going to place it along the long ways because we're actually going to start using the long part of your mat for class today. We'll be doing a lot in this position today. So we're going to come up on the knees to start. And then I want you to take one leg and bring it out to the side with the foot flat on the mat. We're going to inhale, open the arms wide. Exhale, I just want you to take a cat spine here. So we're just rounding the spine. We're going to take this a few times. So we're going to inhale and open. Exhales help us round. So before we start to move side to side, we're just going to make sure that we've opened up our spine through some extension and flexion. Good. Next time the arms are open, let them stay open. Nice inhale here. And as we exhale, we're going to start to just seesaw back and forth. So inhales bring us through center. Exhales bring us down. And this again might be something that you're going to take super slow, or if it feels good, you can speed it up. So one of the nice things that we work on with gait is strengthening through our obliques and our transverse abdominus. Those are parts of the core that are really beneficial to strengthen through all stages in pregnancy. Good. Next time your hand is down on the mat, keep it there and reach really high with the other arm. So this is like a triangle pose that we're doing right down on the mat. Good. And now I want you to start to think about those obliques and the transverse abdominis. So those are the muscles that run along the side of the waist and also down underneath baby. And I want you to start to hug those in. Think of hugging baby in and also hugging in the muscles along your low back. So the whole core, not just your abs. And then hugging baby in. On an inhale, we're going to lift that straight leg high. You can always put it back down if that feels like too much for you. And then we're going to start to take some circles in the hips. So to help, I'll say, combat hip pain in pregnancy, we don't just work on stretching the hips. We also have to work on strengthening the hips. Go ahead and reverse those circles. Good. We have a lot of that relaxin hormone going through our bodies, so that makes us more stretchy, which is helpful. And then you can put that leg down. But that stretchiness can also make that hip pain worse. So then reach that top arm overhead, taking that into a longer stretch here. One full breath. Good. Inhale, coming back up. And then we're going to bring that long leg back into a bent knee and bring your other leg out. Great. So we're going to work on that spine again. So first, inhale, open up. Exhale, we curl. A few more times at your pace. Good. One more. Great. Then inhaling, lengthening out. And we'll take that seesaw again. So on your first exhale, you come on down. Inhaling through center, exhaling to the other side. Just taking baby on a fun little ride back and forth. Good. Keep going. We'll do one more time on each side. Great. And then the next time your hand is on the mat, leave it there. Reach up with the top arm, open through the chest, and pressing down into the foot that's on the mat. So it's the same action we take in triangle, where we press down through that foot. That really helps engage and open up through that whole side body. Great. And then thinking about hugging baby in again. So we hug baby in and we inhale, lift that leg up, flexing through the foot. Beautiful. Go ahead and start your circles in one direction. So I'm assuming you all know this already, but we don't do things like crunches and sit-ups in pregnancy because what we don't want is to stretch out our rectus abdominis, our six-pack, any more than we need to. Go ahead and reverse your circles. But doing this other core work is super helpful to help protect our back and hips in pregnancy, and it speeds up birthing time. Always a plus. Great. Then go ahead and bring that foot back down. We're going to take the top arm and reach it way overhead. Nice big stretch there. Good. Next, inhale, coming up. And we'll bring both knees in. Bring your knees nice and wide, wider than hip distance. Inhale, arms rise. And exhale, we're going to take a child's pose here. So sitting back towards the heels, head comes down. Soften the elbows. And we're going to take 3 of those yoga breaths, that full body breath. So long inhales through the nose, filling the whole torso. Soft exhales out the mouth. Let everything go. Our yoga practice is a beautiful mirror for pregnancy and birth. We have a lot that we are moving for and working for, and poses can be challenging. but we also have these beautiful pauses. Don't miss the pause. As you're ready, you're going to use your hands to help you sit back up, pressing in. And we're going to come back up on our knees again. So we're going to go through some of our gate pose again, and I'm going to give some variations on a side plank. It is fine for you to stick with the easy variations that we were just working with. So I'm going to have you place that first leg that you had out straight again. Arms come wide on an inhale. And then as we exhale, that hand's going to come down. And this could be your side plank. So you can hang out right here. If you want to take the next step, you can bring that straight leg to the center of the mat, and you can take your bent leg and bring it out like this. So that's going to work a little bit more in that oblique. If you already have a side plank in your practice and your first or second trimester, you're also welcome to join me in a full side plank. So choose what feels right for you today. We're going to stay here for a nice deep breath. Maybe one more. Good. If you're in a full side plank, bring that foot out first. And we're going to all come back to our knees in the center. Great. I'm going to actually have you bring that straight leg out again. We're going to inhale, rise. Exhale, come down into a modified child's pose, letting the head come down. Letting the pulse settle down. Be proud of all the things your body can do right now. Good. Next inhale, we're going to come back up, bringing both knees in. Inhaling, arms up. Now bring the other leg out. Great. So you're going to bring that hand down to the mat. And again, this could be your side plank, and that's beautiful. Look at what your body can do. You can bring the leg up, or you can bring that foot in the center of the mat and extend the bottom leg. Or if you want to go for it, you can go for the full side plank. Focusing on your breath. You can do hard things. Good. One more breath. And then we're going to bring that foot in if you were in that full plank. We're going to all meet back with the leg extended out. So inhale to rise. Bring the arms all the way up. Exhale, we're going to sit down and extend out. Giving that hip a nice little stretch. And letting the mind and the body relax here. Drawing that breath in the nose, out a soft jaw. Really nice. Good. Next inhale, we're going to come back up. And now you can go ahead and remove that blanket. I'm going to have you come so you're on hands and knees to start. And then we're going to bring those legs wide again, and you're going to find yourself in a wide-legged forward fold. If you need blocks here, feel free to grab some. Hands can be wherever they feel comfy. So they can be right under the shoulders like this. They can be out towards the ankles. They can be back towards the back of the body. Choose what feels good for you today. And we're going to breathe. When I'm in these standing inversions, I like to imagine that all of my thoughts can just pour out of my head. Just let go. One more breath. And then we're going to turn the heels in, so feet are at a 45-degree angle, bending the knees, bringing the elbows to the knees, and take 1 or 2 breaths here, just making sure that you're not dizzy, that everything feels good. And then on your next inhale, press through the feet. Keep the back nice and long as you inhale, open up. Great. As you exhale, hands are going to come down, parallel the feet, bringing a hand to the heart and a hand to baby. And let the eyes close here. We're just going to take a moment to feel what it's like transitioning from floor to standing. Making sure everything settles back down. Good. On an inhale, lightly opening the eyes. So we're going to work more now on hips and pelvic floor. We're going to start by bringing those heels back in. So we're at that 45-degree angle. We're going to inhale, open wide, 5-pointed star. Exhale, goddess. So bending knees and elbows. Inhaling, 5-pointed star. So following your breath, your pace here, as we just move between star and goddess. Coming down any amount that feels good. So my friends, with that energy of the second trimester, you guys might be like, woo, getting all the way down there. And my friends who are really ready, just a little bit will do, whatever feels good. Hugging baby in. Good. And then the next time you come down into goddess, wrap the right elbow under the left. We're going to sway. If you bring your arms up higher, you should feel that a bit more in your upper back. So this is a nice stretch for the shoulders. Nice little rocking for baby side to side. And next inhale, open those arms up. Exhale, left elbow comes under right, knees bend, and we sway again. Good. Inhale, open up. And we're going to slow down for just a moment. So again, hand to the heart, hand to baby. Eyes closed. Check back in. Don't miss the pause. Even during birthing time, while there are moments of intensity, between every birthing wave, there's that pause. We know it's coming. And it's our choice to really lean into it. Let it give us the energy we need to keep going. Good. As you're ready, you're going to inhale, open the eyes. So we're going to get into our squats, and this is where we're going to bring the pelvic floor in. So just a quick note on that. If you're used to doing pelvic floor exercises like Kegels, this is very similar. If you've never done them before, when I say engage your pelvic floor, I mean to squeeze the muscles that you would squeeze if you wanted to stop urinating. So the pelvic floor starts all the way down at the perineum, and it runs all the way up, supporting the organs that are in our low belly, including the uterus. So some of us will feel that almost like an elevator, and you can feel layer and layer and layer. But if you're brand new to this, just squeeze that muscle right at the base of the perineum that would stop you mid-pee. All right. So as we inhale, arms are going to rise. Exhale, hands to your heart center, we come down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, we come down. So just starting to get into this motion here. And then we're going to add the pelvic floor into our exhale. So as we exhale, we pull that pelvic floor up. We inhale, we let go completely. Keep following your breath, your pace. So this might be super slow for you. It might be really fast. But on this variation, again, as we exhale, we engage the pelvic floor and pull it up, up, up. And as we inhale, we let it go completely. A few more. You guys are doing great. Look at what your body can do. Good. Last time. All right. And taking that pause, hand to the heart, hand to baby, eyes closed. Long breaths in the nose. Soft breaths out the mouth. Letting the pulse settle. Coming back to your intention. Good. On your next inhale, eyes will open. And now we're going to reverse everything here. So as we inhale, as we exhale, we're going to come down. As we inhale, we're going to pull everything up. Exhale, coming down. And now we're pulling that energy from the ground up through baby, up through our body, and out. And so for these, we're going to engage that pelvic floor on the inhale. And we're going to release on the exhale. The different way of thinking of it. And I teach it in both ways because everyone has a different way that it relates for them. So I want you to feel in your body, how do you feel more engaged with your pelvic floor? Is it on the inhale or the exhale? And please remember that not only are we working on strengthening the pelvic floor by engaging it, but we're teaching ourselves how to fully release it as well. Doing these pelvic floor exercises really helps us prepare for birth and also helps our body through that postpartum phase as it heals. Nice, you're almost there. One more. Beautiful. Parallel the feet now. And as you exhale, come down into that nice forward fold. Knees are soft. Letting everything go. These inversions are super helpful to help baby find a great position, especially for birthing. It also takes the weight of baby off of your hips for a little bit. Let the head and the neck go. Let the shoulders go. Let it all quiet down. Good. And then bending those knees, bringing an elbow to each side. Take a moment here to breathe. Good. And we're going to come down into a low squat. And you may choose to have a block handy so you can heel toe your feet in. Coming down into that squat, sitting down either on a block, or if you've got that yogic squat in your practice, you can just balance, that's fine too. Elbows are going to come on the inside of the knees. And then letting that tailbone lengthen again, nice long spine. If you feel stable, you can let the eyes close. We're just going to do a few rounds of final pelvic floor work here. So with these, I'm going to have you engage your pelvic floor as you inhale. If you can feel layer upon layer, you can imagine an elevator is going up, up, up on the inhales. And then as you exhale, letting that elevator come all the way down to the ground floor, releasing that perineum completely. Keep following your pace as you do a few more of these. Engaging on the inhales, releasing on the exhales. Good. When you've completed that last one, you can go ahead and let your eyes open. We're going to come down to our backs. So if you're sitting on a block, removing that, and you can have it close to you. We'll use it again in just a moment. And we're going to come down and set up for bridge pose. So we're on our backs, elbows are tucked underneath your, I'm sorry, not elbows, shoulders are tucked underneath your ribs. Feet are as close to your bum as you can get them. And now you have the option of whether or not to use a block between the legs here. If it feels at all squishy in your belly, then don't do it. But most of us still have enough room, even when we're pretty full with pregnancy, to put a block between the legs. So when you come up to bridge in pregnancy, I don't want you to just pop your hips up. That's not going to be helpful. I want you to think of the action coming from your feet and your legs, not from just your hips and core. So as you inhale, you're going to press into the feet and use that motion to help lift up the hips. Arms can be however you feel they're most comfortable. So some people like to interlace their hands. Some people like robot arms. You can even bring your arms overhead if you feel supported. So I want you to choose what feels good for you. And I also want you to choose how long to stay here. So it's not a competition or a marathon. We're going to do 2 sets, and I want you to come in and out as you're ready. When you do lower between sets, just wiggle those hips a little bit. And I'm on my 2nd set, but you can be wherever is comfy for you. Great, so I'm coming down from my 2nd set, so I'm taking the block out of the way. And I'm just gonna let my knees fall a little side to side, just to make sure that my hips are staying loose here. And we've done a lot with our legs and hips today, so I wanna make sure that they get a good break by doing a little gentle inversion here. I'm going to show it to you using a block and being on my mat, but if you have the ability to put your legs up the wall, you're welcome to do that instead. So I'm coming back into my bridge pose. I have my block in one of my hands, and I'm going to, while in bridge, place the block under my sacrum in either the small, the medium, or the large height. So you choose what works for you. I'm going with medium today. I'm going to press through my feet, inhaling my hips high, and placing that block securely underneath my sacrum. If you have a firm bolster, that can work here as well. So I place my hands out, palms face up. And now as long as I feel secure, I'm going to lift up one leg and then the other. So this is a supported shoulder stand. It is safe in all stages of pregnancy. Also, anecdotally, it's supposed to be helpful if you do have a breech baby, but it will not turn a baby that's in the right position, so no need to worry about that. And this is super beneficial too if you are at a stage in pregnancy where you're experiencing swelling in the feet, the ankles, the legs. This uses gravity to naturally bring the lymph back down into your lymph nodes. So if you feel secure, let your eyes close. Release in your head, your face. Release the neck and the shoulders. Release the whole torso. You may wish to stay right here. The stillness might be perfect. But if you're still feeling itchy for more movement, you are welcome to start letting the legs flow however they feel good. So maybe that's taking a straddle, helicopter, bicycle legs, even a bound ankle. Just try not to think about it. Let your body move how it feels good. And then we'll all work our way back to that stillness for a last few breaths. Good, and then as you're ready, you'll lower one leg and then the other. And feeling those feet nice and secure on the floor, you'll inhale, hips rise, removing the block. Exhale, back down. And then with a hand on each knee, legs nice and wide, you can rock it back and forth. And let's take this into a nice open twist today. So we'll let the knees come all the way to one side. If you like, you can have the weight of a hand on the knee, if that feels good. You can also bring your opposite arm long. And then depending on how your neck feels today, you can look away from the knees. Or if that's too much, you can look towards the knees or up towards the ceiling. And let's come back to our Dhyarga breath one more time. So nice long inhale through the nose. Exhaling out the mouth. One more at your pace. With your next inhale, knees come up and over. And we'll bring a hand to the knees again if that feels good. Opposite arms extended, looking in the direction that feels the most comfortable. So I like to look away from my knees. And then tapping back into those long, full-bodied yoga breaths. Good. After your next exhale, we'll inhale the knees to center, rolling all the way to one side and using the hands to slowly help you. Now, as you're getting up, always hug baby towards you. So we're going to set up for Shavasana, and I'm going to show you how to do it if you'd like to do a reclined, a modified reclined pose, but you're always welcome to take it on your side as well. So if you choose to be on your side, I just ask that you please have a pillow under the head and a pillow or a pregnancy pillow that goes between the knees down to the ankles so your hips are supported. For everyone who wants to follow me and do a reclined pose, I'm going to take a block or a firm bolster and place it at the head of my mat. I'm going to take one of my long bolsters or pillows and place it on top. So I've created a nice wedge here. I have my second bolster that I'm going to use for under my knees. So you can probably see that if you have a pregnancy pillow, you can use that under the knees. You can use multiple pillows to stack up if you don't have a firm one. There are always modifications. And then I am feeling a little bit chilly, so I'm going to take my nice thick blanket over my body. I know if you told me to do that when I was pregnant, I would say no way because I would sweat even on the coldest days. So you choose what works for you. And then I'm just lying down onto the wedge that I made, making sure my low back feels supported. If you have a shorter pillow, you might need to prop a pillow under your low back. My knees are supported. Make yourself nice and comfortable. When you find a place that feels good, if you're reclined like I am, your palms can face up. And we're going to work on releasing the body completely here. Allow your head to be heavy. Releasing all tension across the forehead. Letting all expression fall from the face. Eyes float in their sockets. Jaw releases. Teeth separate. Tongue floats in the mouth. Allowing the muscles where the head meets the neck to release. And allowing that relaxation to pour down the neck, down the throat, down into the shoulders, feeling length and softness across the collarbones as the shoulders sink down. Arms are heavy from shoulder to elbow, elbow to wrist, down through the hands and every finger. Upper back releases completely, softening in the front of the chest. Mid back lets go, melting through the ribs, softening in the sternum, softening the emotions in the solar plexus. letting go through the low back, the side waist, allowing the belly to be soft and round. Plenty of room for you, plenty of room for baby to grow and play. Releasing down through the hips and the pelvis, completely relaxing through the pelvic floor, allowing that release to travel down the thighs, down the knees, down the calves and the shins, down the ankles, releasing the tops and the soles of the feet and every toe. Allow the whole body to let go. Surrender here. Thinking to yourself, my body and my baby are healthy and strong. My body and my baby are healthy and strong. My body and my baby are healthy and strong. Beginning now to deepen the breath. Inhales come through the nose. Exhales out the mouth. Feeling baby move up and down with your breath. Beginning to bring movement back into fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. If it feels good, you can inhale arms overhead and enjoy a full body stretch. Taking all the time you need to come back to a comfortable seat. I recommend moving through being on your side and hugging baby in before you sit up. If it's easy for you to put a pillow or a block underneath your hips, please do so. Keeping eyes closed or gaze soft when you find your seat. And we'll bring a hand to the heart and a hand to baby. Good. Taking this time to feel that connection. It is such a special time in our lives when we have two hearts beating in one body. Knowing that you are able to give your baby everything they need to grow and thrive. And then coming back to your intention, seeing if there's anything else that you'd like to take with you today. And maybe there's something you still want to let go of. And if there is, I invite you to do that with breath. So together, we'll take a deep breath through the nose, out the mouth, let it go. And bringing hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra, we lightly bow the head. And we give thanks first to ourselves for taking this time to care for our body, calm our emotions, and quiet our mind. We can be more loving and present to those in our lives. And we thank our baby for joining us in this practice today. And finally, we thank each other with a namaste. Namaste. Great. So I'm going to stick around. If you want to unmute or open up your camera, talk, say goodbye, have questions, great. If you just want to flutter away into your day and relax, that's fine too. Thank you so much for coming and practicing today.